Absolutely.
So now you're a gatekeeper.
Right.
There aren't that many gatekeepers across. Everyone would like to think themselves as a gatekeeper,
Right.
Let's preface that.
Right.
But you're probably one of the few gatekeepers throughout. Can you make a call to a college that said you need to check out this one kid?
Without a doubt.
And that kid, and I asked this to Munch because Munch is, he's becoming a gatekeeper in some capacity also. Can you call this college and they say, I got Gary Stamp, and they respect that phone call?
I don't know if I ever told Devontae Green this story, and my boy Chuck could back me up on this. Chucky Martin, who's out of South Carolina. Mm-hmm. He called me one day. Don't want. I think he wanted this. Keys. They asked me. They called me up about Chuck Martin. About Devontae.
Yep.
What do you think about Devontae? We want to take him to Indiana. Mm-hmm. Tom Crean wanted to get your opinion. And I said that 2 years ago, I would have told you no, because he was up and down and, just things he wasn't doing. And then I said, but he's matured. Mm-hmm. And I see a lot of potential in this young man. And obviously, I knew I was biased, but I wasn't, because I had coached his other two, brothers, Danny and Shadi, Bashar. So I said, you need to take him. The next day they called him, we're giving you a scholarship. So, yeah, and I'm real careful.
Oh, you can't do everyone.
Everyone.
Right.
And I tell the guys, and, funny you mentioned Munch, because Munch to me is one of the guys who does the listen. And Munch would call me once a month to say, Legend, mm-hmm. we need to have one of our meetings. Mm-hmm. And I respect that, because Munch is that guy now, but he keeps coming to me, trying to absorb more, okay? So we talk about these things, a lot, okay? How do you navigate this? How do you navigate that? And how do you stay away from the weed? Right. So to speak. Now, the other thing I think is extremely important for people to, understand with the college coaches. We all came up together. I chose this route, but there's a lot of guys who are agents now who were with me when I started. I just kept going this way, or guys who are coaches. Mickey Cronin and I, who's the head coach at UCLA, used to work together at ABCD camp. Uh-huh. Mike Brown, who is now the assistant coach at Golden State, mm-hmm. Mike was one of my guys at ABCD. He used to be one of the coaches who worked out the college guys, because we would bring in...
after the session was over.
No, what we would do with the college guys, we would get the top college guys, bring them in. They would work out in the morning. See, the ABCD game didn't start until 2.
That's when they hooped.
So they hooped in the morning. Right. Okay, George Carl was the head coach, the head guy, and there was an assistant coach named Tim Gergovich, and Tim Gergovich would tell us, look, I'm bringing this guy, I'm bringing that guy. I'm like, fine. So those guys, under my leadership, because I would tell them, guys, start this time, got to do this, whatever. Here's how we was structuring everything. So that was my responsibility with them. And then I would tell them which team they were going to coach, because they would be a coach with one of the teams. The college guys would be the guys that kept the score clock for me. Okay,
that was their job.
All right. So Mike was one of the coaches back then. Like, Mike, I need you in this drill. So I can call Mike. Yo, Mike, here's what's up. Okay, that's my point to you. Like Neil Shea is the general manager of Portland. Well, he worked at ABCD. Came out. He's like, yo, Neil, I'm picking you this year to coach one of the All-Star games. Which team? That team. Oh, damn it, guy, I want the other team. Yeah. Neil, you coaching that goddamn team. Uh-huh. We all boys. So all of us came up together.
So your tree is crazy then?
Dude, I start from the Sunny Tree, who obviously had whatever, and now here's me, who I'm his right-hand guy. I'm like his son to him now, because we still talk 4 times a week. Mm-hmm. So all these dudes, we all came up. And as I said, like Steve Mills, that's my guy. We grew up together. Scott Perry, who's the general manager. Scott Perry recruited Zenden. Mm-hmm. So we go back that far. That's my dude.
Tell Steve I need to holler at him about, I got some ideas.
Steve will probably watch it. Steve, did you hear that? So,
holler at me.
So all these guys who are on all these different teams, when we see each other, like, we look at each other. Or even if I see Melo, like, yo, Melo, we beat you in the big, we beat Melo in the big time, in the semifinal. Mm-hmm. I used to tease him every year about that. It's awesome because we all remember these things and we discuss it. And you know what's amazing? No matter how old you get, you don't forget.
No, not at all.
You know, you don't forget those things.
Right.
And you discuss it. Okay, I'm just like, dude, there was a year, literally, it's All-Star Weekend, and this agent, Dan Fagan, God bless his soul, because he passed, okay?
Yeah.
Dan was having a luncheon or dinner. I go in there, I walk in, and there's a table, and Mark Cuban is there. There were a couple NBA coaches in there. Kiki Vandeweghe, who now is working in the NBA. Kiki, by the way, Kiki was a bad boy. So nice. Kiki's there. So Kiki's in there also. Drew Gooden was there. There's a couple NBA guys. But Kobe's at, let's say, a table like that, eating with his wife, but because it was all private, all right? So I go over there to go talk to Kobe, say what's up. I hadn't seen Kobe in some years at that time. And he says to his wife, yeah, we used to be this team. I was like, here you go, Kobe.
Yeah,
So here you go. My point to it, haven't forgotten. So now, Andrew Gooden starts with some stories. And he's like, yeah, we used to beat you. I'm like, no, you didn't. You damn sure didn't, right? So, because he played with the Oakland Soldiers. And we're laughing, and now we're swapping stories, and he's like, now he's talking about Lamar. He's talking about other guys, and I said, damn, man, you know everyone on my team, man. You sure? I know you didn't beat us. Kobe interjects right foot again. So we're going back and forth.
That's beautiful.
Okay, with these stories.
Beautiful.
And here is guys who are in NBA, don't even have to think about it. That's what we're doing. They don't forget, man.
No, they don't forget. And you could tell at press conferences, Kobe remembers everything. Every play. This time I went to the right. And last time he did this to me, all that stuff. But he's a savant.
He's a savant. But so is Bonnie. He's a savant too.
All those players, like you mentioned, all of those guys remember those memorable games. Particularly when you're going against somebody that's of your ilk. Like if you're going Melo against, not that it happened, Melo against Kobe, like, oh, I remember that game.
Dude, Kobe, like Kobe has said numerous of times on TV, I played on the greatest, grassroots team ever. I got that Kobe. So Kobe.
Oh, that's the Vince Carter, Tim Thomas.
It is true.
Right.
So Kobe actually played in a team, Sam Ryan, Sam Ryan out of Philly. It was him and Richard Hamilton. That was the backcourt. That was their team. But there was a special tournament that Rob Kennedy of Hoop Group threw in Florida for kind of like the national championship. So my boy Jimmy Salmon, who coaches Tim Thomas, plays club. Yeah. Tim Thomas, whichever name you go by now. All right. And he had Tim Thomas. Vince Carter's his cousin. So they had Vince, and they recruited Kobe. So they did. All go play together.
It was somebody on someone else. It was Cole, Vince, Tim, and Rip. And it was somebody else. I don't remember.
I don't remember, but dude,
we don't remember that fifth person.
Did they need anybody else?
Yeah.
So
we don't remember Tito.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay. So they were that damn good, but see, he didn't forget though.
Right.
Now, to tell you another famous story. Kobe and I, the press conference is held that he's signing with Adidas deal down in Soho. We make the announcement, okay? And there's two things I remember about that time. So Kobe and I, in the evening, we're getting a little bored. Kobe said, Mr. Charles, can we take a walk on,
42nd? Right.
Because we were a couple blocks away. So now we're walking on 42nd Street in Times Square. We're walking.
Oh, let me stop. This is not the 42nd Street that we guys know today. This is a different 42nd Street back in, what year is 97, 98.
That's right. That's right. It was like 96.
Okay.
Kobe, so we're walking, and some people actually recognize him now, but they didn't recognize because it was Kobe. They recognized because he had just went out on the prom with Brandy, at the time. And we're talking, and he said, Mr. Charles, where do you think I'm going to go in the draft? I said, Kobe, I think you're going to be the third guy in your position that's going to go, okay? And he said, what two guys are better than me? All right? Now understand this. People, I want you to understand, this kid is 17 years old. I want you to think if you're 17 that you're saying this about you. You're going to the NBA, and I'm telling you some college guys who are better than you. In your mind, I'm not telling you they're better than you, but in your mind, you're better than them. How can they be better? So I said, well, Kobe, Kerry Kittle's going to go before you, okay? So he goes, okay, I respect that because, he respected Kerry. And I said, Antoine Walker is going to go to you. He's 6'8", just won the national, championship. He's going to go ahead of you too. So as a matter of fact, he's going to be the first one. That's going to go down. It's going to be Kerry. We walk like another 15 feet. He put his arms out like this to stop me. He turns around and he said, Mr. Charles, Antoine's not better than me. And I'm looking at this 17-year-old kid. Like, are you kidding me? if I ever had any doubt that he was that dude, because my name was on the line,
Mm-hmm.
he had erased it.
Yeah, it's gone.
Because that's what you gotta have in order to get to the NBA at that time.
Right.
All right? That moxie to believe I'm that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He had it all. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, a week goes by. I don't see him for a week. That's my dude now, right? Now we're about to play the IC. Okay? It's Lamar and Elton. And it's a semifinal game. Kobe shows up. Because there was a team from Philly that was gonna play.
Mm-hmm.
I see Kobe up in the stand with at the time it was I think the fiance, but it became his brother-in-law. He's sitting in the stand. I looked at Cole, and you know I say there's no rules, right? So I said, Cole, you want to play with us? And you know what he said?
What?
No.
Why?
I want to play against you.
Word.
Because he wanted to play against Lamar and everybody else we had.
Mm-hmm.
That's how this kid is built.
Uh-huh.
So now I look at him, and I'm thinking, it's amazing how many things go through your mind in 3 seconds.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, this goddamn mother,
Uh-huh.
my boy,
Uh-huh.
now you want to play against me? So of course he said, can I play? Is it okay? Can I play against you? I'm like, no!
Yeah, you told Pete, nah.
I said,
He's
no!
on the roster.
I said, nah! You're not supposed to be playing. You just signed a shoe deal.
Uh-huh.
You might get hurt. Sonny's gonna get upset. No!
5 minutes ago, yo, here's your jersey real quick.
True story, man. It's a true story.
That's hilarious.
Dude wanted to play against me. Man.
That's you to tore your ass up.
Woo! And I know he would have kept coming, like smacking me on. Nah, Kobe, it ain't happening. Okay,
That's
so
hilarious.
yeah, man, it's a true story though.
That's
a
hilarious.
True story on that.
Now I'm
Yeah.
sure we could sit here all day talking stories about your basketball travels because you've been around. What year are you going into?
Dude, I started in '87.
What year? A
Whatever,
long time.
So whatever that is.
Well, a long time. A long time ago. A long time.
Yeah. Hey, I saw your face there.
Yeah, you seen her face?
Yeah, I saw her face.
Like, oh, 87. I wasn't even
87.
thought about. But no, I appreciate the time that you're taking, particularly this week because you know you're busy with your event coming up, and I'm sure that your phone was going off, mine was going off. We had to stop a couple of times because the phone was going off, and that's a tribute to you and what you've done and what the platform that you've established for the kids coming up, and also the adults too. You allowing them the opportunity also.
I appreciate you coming. That's number one. Regardless of what people may think, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's important that we continue talking about history
Right.
and set certain things straight, about that. And that's the only way these kids can continue to learn. So
Yeah,
I
I
appreciate
agree.
you taking the time and making this thing happen.
All right. Thank you, man. Big time. Thank you.
You got
We
it.
have one of the